Hi there, Randy Biebel here from GreatLakes3D.us, here to show you some of the ZW3D CAD/CAM software today. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of the hybrid modeling capability in the software. And hybrid modeling is simply using the same solid type tools to do the surface modeling, so you don't have a whole bunch of different tool sets to learn. So I'm going to create a sketch through points because I'm just going to conceptual model here. So I'm going to place a few curves out here and simple right click. We're going to give this curve just a couple dimensions because I'm conceptual modeling, but I still need to follow some of the rules of manufacturing, because even when you conceptual model, you still need to have some driving dimensions while you're playing around with designs and ideas. And here's the power of the hybrid modeler, being able to do solid and surface modeling in the same tool set. So now I just use my solid tool to create a simple surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and loft a couple surfaces together. I can see the dynamic preview on the screen. I'm going to add these surfaces together. And some of the options I have, I'm going to maintain tangency, but I'm also going to be able to play with the weight of this curve to kind of get the look and feel. So if I envision myself looking out my side mirror, this is going to be the shape of my mirror. I can drag this around until I get a shape that I like and I'm comfortable with. I'm going to say OK here. So now I have the basic shape of my mirror. I'm going to go to my freeform tool. I'm going to choose a dome. And we're going to make a dome from a couple curves. And we can see the dynamic preview. I'm going to drag this dome out. Again, we can play with a look and a feel. We can also give it a specific dimension. And I'm going to change the position of the dome ever so slightly, maybe over here. And again, we're maintaining tangency, but I'm going to change the look and feel of the tangency to get that kind of aerodynamic shape that most mirrors would have. We're going to need to mount this to the vehicle as well, so I'm going to use my solid shape tool. I'm going to extrude and I'm going to add. I'm going to put a sketch over here. And in this sketch, we're going to use a kind of an elliptical shape. Again, just kind of playing with some conceptual design. I choose OK. And this is the power of the hybrid modeler, being able to do solid and surface modeling with the same tool sets. So I have an open surface on the screen using my solid modeling command. I'm going to give this an exact dimension, 4 1/4. We're going to add these together and choose OK. So my solid tool is still creating open surfaces for me. Same thing with my fillet tool. I can put a fillet on an open surface model or on a solid model. I like the look of that. I'm going to choose OK. So now that we've finished our side mirror and have the look and shape that we're after, we're going to shell this model, and we're going to shell this collection of surfaces. And while we shell it, we are going to open up the side face. And at this point, we have a solid model with no open edges. This is the power of the hybrid modeling kernel. So bear with me for a few moments. I'm going to put a sketch on that would represent the side of my car body. So maybe it has a curvature similar to this. And we're going to use another sketch to represent our door pillar. Maybe our door pillar comes down something like that. We can use the sweep command and sweep one sketch to another and get a body panel that would represent our side door. And now we need to have some geometry here that we are going to mount this geometry to. So the challenge is trying to pull this rigid mount area to this 3D surface. And we can do that a number of ways. And I'm going to use some of my wireframe toolbars, and I'm going to do a curve on this face with a few points. So I'm going to need to pull this geometry to here. In ZW we have a really cool set of tools called Morph Curve to Curve. I'm going to morph this shape from this curve over to this curve. And I can see my dynamic preview of how I'm going to change this geometry to get it from point A to point B. I can change the amount of influence I have from this curve back and my blends. So again, we're just conceptualizing. So here's my mount. We no longer need this. So here's my mount, and the last thing we're going to need to do is add in a side mirror. We're going to use these curves from the front, and we're going to have our mirror set back in just a touch. And in the same command, we can make this a little bit smaller, because we're going to need clearance for our mirror to move back and forth. So there's our mirror. We can also use some visualization techniques and add pictures on here to make it a little bit more realistic. So ZW3D 2016 hybrid modeling, CAD with CAM, and the ability to use solid and surfaces in the same interface. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, well, thanks for joining us. And if you want to learn more about CAD CAM software and hybrid modeling, then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, as we will be updating this with new training videos on a regular basis as well. Head on over to GreatLakes3D.us or contact me, Randy, at GreatLakes3D.us. Thank you.